Traveling Tales.
Welcome back.
Hi. I don't know why I did that.
I like it.
It happened. It happened. Now I'm going to have to travel with it. It's going to have to come with us wherever we go.
Yep.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm just ducky. I burnt my hand earlier. It still kind of hurts.
Yeah, that seemed pretty painful. I'm not going to lie.
Definitely have a blister.
Forming, you do.
And,
oh, no.
You know, and it wasn't like I did something stupid.
No, it wasn't your fault at all, really.
How that fell on the stove.
Yeah, actually, that's weird.
But you know, when your Alexa device falls onto your stove,
you grab it.
You grab it.
Yeah.
Forgetting that it is metal.
And metal conducts heat.
Yeah. So I'm in a little pain.
Yeah. Also, burns just burn.
Oh my gosh. And I definitely have like a blister, and it's right on the crease.
Oh, so it's like,
Yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun, but I'm fine.
Good. I'm glad you're fine.
You
will survive.
I will survive. Oh yeah. Okay, sorry. Don't mind me.
So where did we go this week?
Well, you know, this is a little extra.
Yes.
This was brought to my attention by our friend Jackie.
Yes.
Whose brother went, ooh, they have to go here.
Yeah.
So shout out Scooter.
Yes.
Because we went there.
Yeah.
And where there is. Oh my God.
Sounded right to me.
Gunntown Cemetery.
Yes. Which is apparently the most haunted cemetery
in Connecticut. I believe so. Okay. I mean, don't quote me on that.
I mean, I'll take it.
It's what I've been told. We're
going with it.
I'm going with it.
Yeah.
It is in Naugatuck, Connecticut.
Okay. Yes.
So,
kind of in the backwoods.
Yes, backwoods, hidden. Very beautiful.
Yeah, really pretty.
There was like one area though that we were saying that was kind of like spooky, like
yeah.
Like the woods just seemed unsettling.
It was because you really saw nothing but like a little road and then woods.
Yeah. So maybe it was more of our minds.
Yeah, but it was unsettling for sure.
But it was definitely unsettling.
Yeah.
This is originally a family plot.
Right.
And I do have some like history on it.
Okay.
I did find a little bit of history on it.
Awesome. That's always exciting.
Oh, look here. One of the most haunted cemeteries in Connecticut is Gunntown Cemetery in Naugatuck. So I found this in a website, which you guys, I always include whatever websites we use. So if you're curious, you can go on and do your own research. Because we're not always going to get it right.
No.
And by now, maybe you've figured that out. It's this historic graveyard has been around for centuries and is the final resting place for many Revolutionary War veterans. We did see a lot of that, a lot of American flags, and the little medallion. Yeah, we did see that. It's not a very big graveyard, which I was actually shocked. I thought it was going to be bigger than it was. And it's kind of just like on the side of the road, which we've talked about how like in New England, like you go for a hike and there's a graveyard.
Stumble upon a graveyard.
You drive down a road and there's a graveyard. And it was literally like, here's somebody's house, here's their front yard, here's a graveyard. We were like, where are we going to park?
Yeah, it was literally like the house's driveway.
I didn't want to park in their driveway. Yeah. And then there is kind of like an area though that like cuts off in front that you can park there. But yeah, it wasn't very big. It says Gunntown was originally a family graveyard. The history of the Gunn family has been traced to before the colony of Connecticut. Oh. So before it was even what it is
colonized,
now. Yeah, colonized. The first to arrive to Connecticut was Scottish-born Jasper Gunn.
Okay, we saw a lot of Gunn names in the graveyard.
He lived from 1606 to 1670, so a pretty decent time.
Yeah.
His first journey from London to Boston was October 8th, 1635.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Jasper was with several other families from Roxbury and Dorchester,
That sounds right.
Dorchester,
Yeah.
who purchased land from the local natives.
Ah.
And then on November 24th, 1640, the area was named the town of Milford. Okay, so they originally moved into what is now known as Milford.
Oh,
so
okay.
not even Naugatuck.
Okay.
And Milford is coastal. It's
Yes.
a coastal town.
Yeah. Milford is where my family is from.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's correct.
That is correct.
Oh my God, I'm such an idiot. And his death in 1670. Is that accurate? Yes. He and his wife, they had 7 children. So he left behind 7 children.
Oh, wow.
And those descendants moved to what is Naugatuck now. So they moved from Milford to Naugatuck. The area that was once called Gunntown is an 800-acre area located just off of Naugatuck's Rubber Avenue. We were on Rubber Avenue. Yeah. The Gunn family was said to have lived and operated a small sawmill in this area in the 1740s. And this was their cemetery. So it was actually like a town, which is why it's Gunntown Cemetery. Right. From the Gunn family.
Right.
However, it is part of Naugatuck now. So the cemetery lies somewhat in the middle of the area of this 800 acres.
Oh, okay.
And most of the people buried there are related to each other.
Gotcha.
So I know we saw a lot of names. The Osbornes.
Yeah. Gunn.
The Guns. What was the one that I was like, how do you pronounce that?
Oh, yeah.
And it was something simple, but I just couldn't. I don't remember now. I'll know when I see it in the photos because I'm sure I took a photo of it.
There's Smith.
There were Smiths, but I think that was married into. It seems like.
Oh yeah, there was definitely a lot. Yeah,
because there weren't a lot of. There were a lot of Osbornes.
There were a lot of Osbornes.
The Bradley.
Oh yeah, there were a couple of Bradleys.
Yeah.
But yeah, it definitely felt like
relations.
Yeah, like a family cemetery.
Yes.
I mean, with all the flags and the medallions and all of those things, you got that it was also kind of like a military graveyard.
Yes. And for most part, the graves were very old. There were a few. I think the most recent I saw was like 2003.
Okay, I saw one like 1960.
Yeah,
that was like
so
the
there
only one
are
I saw.
some, but they're mostly old.
Yeah.
And anyone can go into the cemetery.
Yeah, it's
you
open
can see
24
people
hours.
Leave trinkets and whatnot. There even is like a little trash that I'm sure the town probably cleans out.
Yeah.
And it's well maintained.
Yeah, it's really well maintained. It was really pretty.
I mean, and I say that with the respect of it's been cleaned up and someone does the lawn. I mean, obviously there are broken
the headstones are broken
and stuff because of age.
Yeah.
And but
they've tried to kind of like set them
put them where they belong, and the grass is cut and debris and stuff are removed. And
beautiful giant hydrangea bush.
Oh my gosh,
so pretty!
It's like a tree almost now. It's like not even a bush anymore. It was gorgeous. The pink and purple.
Yep.
So
so
pretty.
Still in bloom like this time.
I know. I know. But some of the ghostly haunts that are seen there, they're unexplained. Oh my goodness. Unexplained cold spots, mists, and orbs. How many times were you like, why is it so cold?
Yeah, I was constantly being like, ooh, I'm chilly all of a sudden.
It wasn't like a hot day today.
No, but it was not a cold day.
It was not a cold day today.
I was in a t-shirt all day.
It was, and I even, and you know me, I run hot. Like I had moments where I was like, like that's cold.
Yeah. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
I'll be curious to see if we got any orbs. There were a couple of times when I was taking video around the graveyard that I saw something.
Oh, me too.
But then I think it was a bug.
That I definitely saw bugs.
Yeah, there was a lot of gnats.
But I would see like movement from the corner of my eye, and I'd turn. Like I don't remember if you remember. Whatever. Yeah. There was a moment where I was like, what was that? And then I was like, oh, never mind.
Yeah.
And like I thought I saw something. It was weird. Like a movement. I can't even tell you what I saw.
Right.
And it wasn't a fly. But anyways, random music playing and children laughing.
I believe that there was a lot of children's headstones.
I know there were. and we can get back to that when we talk about more about seeing it.
Yeah.
There was a man carrying a lantern and leading a horse, which we did not
see. I feel like that would be like a nighttime sort of apparition.
Yeah. A little boy playing by the back wall with a large black dog who both vanished quickly. We didn't see that, but there were a couple of children's graves back by that back
corner.
wall.
Yeah, they're kind of like tucked into the back.
I
know.
know.
It was a little bizarre.
I wonder if that was more cleared out at some point.
Some point, yeah.
And then, well, I mean, I guess I'll read this last point, but we've already kind of touched on how I'm like, meh. Famed paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren have even deemed it haunted.
Okay, well, we can take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah. I mean, and I said this in the car earlier, I am not saying that their work by any means is not to be, because they did a lot of impressive work, and I am not saying that they were lying about it being haunted. Yeah. I just am not necessarily a fan of
the two of them.
Yeah. So, whatever.
Yeah.
But
grain of salt.
It was, again, like I said, it was not big, which kind of caught me off. I thought it was going to be bigger.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a decent size.
Yeah.
But it was easy walk from corner to corner. Like not like the one Greenwood, which is ginormous.
You need a car to drive around.
This you could easily walk from corner to corner within moments.
Yeah.
But it was still, it was decent. And a lot of graves, a lot of families. We did, for the first time, pull out a EMF reader. Was it EMF? EMF, yes.
Yeah.
We tried an EMF reader for the first time.
Oh, right. Yes.
And we just kind of turned it on when we walked in. That was that, you know. And periodically I would look down at my hand. And when we were first in that back left corner,
right,
it went off a little bit.
It did, yeah.
But then it stopped.
Yeah.
And there was and we tried reading names off of one of the graves where it went off to see
if that
was it one of these people. And at one point it lit up again when I said a name, but then when we said the name again, there was nothing. It was just
it was just like kind of that one little blip.
Yeah, and then it stopped.
Blips. Yeah.
And so we're like, okay, and we just kept carrying on and moving and walking around, and then it started going off again.
Yeah.
And it was when we were near the child's grave.
Yes.
And it was going off, and I put it down at that point on the ground.
Yeah.
And we kind of sat there and talked with them.
Yeah.
And we were mentioning names, and it was going off. And that was for a few moments, and then it went quiet again.
Yeah.
So that was kind of
that was definitely eerie. Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember it got chilly.
Yes.
We both were it was kind of cold right after it happened.
Yeah.
So that was just it
was definitely creepy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to expect because obviously we've never used any sort of that sort of technology.
Right.
So I was really curious, how does it even work? And what is going to happen?
I think we'll get a little bit better as we use it, because you're supposed to be able to use it for yes or no questions.
Okay.
You can be light this up if the answer is yes,
right.
Or, so novelist, but it was interesting.
Yeah.
And it was definitely responding to us.
Yeah.
The other moment, and this wasn't so much something we experienced, but we were over at this one grave where it was definitely a family gravestone or monument, because it was daughter of so-and-so. But then it was wives of. And I'm standing there just being no disrespect. Give me the decency of my own gravestone, please.
Right?
Not wives of. And as we're saying this and talking, our friend Jen hears an audible, and unfortunately we didn't get to hear it.
No.
But I believe it. And it definitely responded to what we were saying.
Yeah.
It was
Well,
definitely.
we both said, because we were reading names, and one of the names was Mariah, which is my middle name.
Yeah.
And so we both said Mariah at the same time.
And within us saying Mariah, she hears, like, yeah.
Yep.
Tell me about it. You couldn't pay the extra whatever it was to give
my
me own. I mean, come on now. Like, that really made me chuckle a little bit, though. Like, wives of.
I mean, I just
like I understand that headstones are expensive, but like
for you,
I like give me the extra dollars and like come on now, how much did you love me? Like,
I know, right?
like, so
who did that to those poor wives?
But you know, obviously these were like the moments we had. We didn't experience like any of the things that are known besides the cold spots,
right?
But it was still fun and it was interesting,
really
and I'm excited to see what we might have gotten
on video
and photos and stuff like that.
It was really like peaceful and very quiet,
very much so. And there's like a house right there, and clearly
with a
like
pool in
with
their
a pool
backyard,
and like play stuff. So they clearly have kids,
kind of like
down in the hill, like what looks like might have been farmland at some point. Maybe it still is, but clearly there's children and family there, and it was quiet,
very quiet.
It was very quiet. And this is a Saturday afternoon. And it's not cold yet.
No,
it's still. I mean, the pool
nice.
was. I wouldn't have gone swimming, but the pool looked like it was still.
It was definitely still open and filled.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was. I would go again.
Yeah,
I would go again.
Yeah, it was definitely. It was pretty.
See what else happens next time.
Yeah,
maybe do another EMF.
Yeah,
reading.
a 3-link.
Yeah. So
figure that out.
But as always,
yes.
Till next time, we are the traveling ghouls.
So hitchhiking ghosts beware.